What's going on, YouTube? Kensou here. What's going on? Good to see you. So check this out, you guys. As cloud gaming continues to grow in popularity, the demand for these devices are becoming increasingly popular today. One of those devices in demand, the Logitech G Cloud. So in this video, we'll be taking a look at this bad boy here, the G Cloud, and we'll deep dive into its features, the performance, and the overall experience using the G Cloud. Now this sleek, handheld promises to deliver, high quality gaming experiences without the need for powerful local hardware like your normal desktop or even a PlayStation 5. And it leverages the power of cloud streaming services. But does it live up to the hype? Well, let's find out. And let's take a look at the Logitech G Cloud. Talking about you. So, if you're unfamiliar, let me quickly introduce you. The Logitech G Cloud is a handheld gaming device designed primarily for cloud gaming. That being said, here's a comprehensive review of its features. So we're gonna take a look at the design and the build quality, right? It's pretty sleek and lightweight design. It's very comfortable for extended gaming sessions. Really nice. The Logitech G Cloud features a nice high quality display. It is a 7-inch IPS LCD touchscreen with vibrant colors and wide viewing angles. Full 1080p resolution for crisp and detailed visuals, so you know your games are gonna look pristine and crispy, okay? Crispy. 16:9 aspect ratio, ideal for most modern games right now in 2024. Moving forward, 60 Hz refresh rate, providing some smooth, buttery smooth motion in the games that you're playing on, and trust me, it's pretty dang smooth. Adaptive brightness for comfortable viewing in various lighting conditions. So if you're out there and you're moving around, it's kind of dark and stormy, hey, guess what? This little guy right here, nice and bright up, nice and lit well, so you can play in even the darkest of areas. The screen's quality is very crucial for gaming, and not just gaming, cloud gaming in this case, as it ensures that the stream games look their best with sharp, vivid colors, text, and smooth animations. It's pretty slick, I'm not gonna lie, gotta be honest. Now let's take a look at the system information. Let's see what's under the hood, right? It's powered by a Qualcomm Snapdragon 720G processor. This processor is used in various mid-range smartphones such as the Samsung Galaxy A52. This processor is known for its balanced performance and power efficiency, right? Making it suitable for devices like the G Cloud that prioritize battery life and smooth performance for cloud gaming and other multimedia tasking. 4 GB of RAM and 64 GB of internal storage with an expandable memory via micro SD. Very nice to have, because 64 GB, not gonna lie, not enough, but hey, at least you can expand it, right? The G Cloud runs on Android 11 with a custom Logitech interface, offering a unique gaming-focused experience. The custom Logitech launcher is optimized for cloud gaming services and fairly easy navigation, with quick access to the cloud gaming platforms such as the Xbox Cloud Gaming, NVIDIA GeForce Now, Steam Link. It's very intuitive, very simple, straight to the point. Nothing too crazy in that regard. Its streamlined user interface is really good, and it's very efficient when launching games and just doing device management. Like, the menus are very intuitive, very straightforward, and very snappy, to be honest with you. You also have access to the Google Play Store for additional app downloads. So if you want to play, any of those cell phone games, anything that's on the Google Play Store, for example, it is native on this device. It's really nice. There's also customizable control mapping for better compatibility with various games. So if you wanted to play any of your games and you're like, I don't really like this, you can do all kinds of different control mappings that make it a lot more intuitive and more, basically it's just more intuitive for you as the player. So that's always nice to see that. There's also performance optimizations that, pretty much there's performance optimizations to enhance the cloud gaming experience. So that's always nice to see as well. And of course, with any other device, there's regular software updates and to improve functionality and other new features and whatnot. So natural thing there for any kind of device. So that's always good to see. And while it's based on Android 11, The custom interface prioritizes gaming features, making the G Cloud more of a dedicated gaming device than a typical, say, Android tablet, which is, once again, great for this device. Now, in terms of audio, the G Cloud's audio capabilities are designed to clearly enhance the gaming experience, and it comes with dual stereo speakers that provide clear and immersive sound. The speakers are front-facing for optimal audio projection for the handheld use, so it's pretty loud, to be honest with you. The volume levels are adequate for personal use in most environments, so once again, it's pretty loud, to be honest. The G Cloud also features a 3.5mm headphone jack. So if you want to get that real personal sound, you don't want to like wake the kiddos up, you don't want to wake up anyone in the house, hey, bam, just get the headphones, you're good to go. It also has audio support for Bluetooth audio devices, and it is always a great option to have. So if you want to go cordless and you got, your Bluetooth headset, boom, you're good to go. Now next we're gonna get to the battery life. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I think the Logitech G Cloud really boasts an impressive battery life, which is just leaps and bounds one of the most standout features of this device. It offers well over 12 plus hours of gameplay on a single charge, which is pretty huge, all things considered. It utilizes USB-C charging, so USB-C is very standard these days, so nothing too crazy there. The long battery life makes it ideal for long trips or situations where charging may not be readily available, once again leaning back into the 12 plus hours worth of gameplay. The device's energy efficiency pretty much contributes to its excellent battery performance, even when streaming via cloud services. Some cloud services may or may not, drain the battery a little bit more. So coming back to why the battery life is a standout feature, right, is the extended battery life sets the G Cloud apart from many other handheld devices, making it a solid choice once again for those who love to play longer gaming hours. So for you guys that like to game, this might be for you. We're gonna move forward. So now, moving forward, I want to talk about the controls. The G Cloud offers a full array of controls, including dual analog sticks, D-pad, front-facing buttons, and shoulder buttons. It does have haptic feedback, always nice, and gyroscope for enhanced gaming experiences. For those of you guys that love the haptic feedback from like the PS5 and whatnot, it's pretty crazy how it works on this device, so you're gonna love that feature. But really quickly, there is a bit of a caveat towards the D-pad. The D-pad does have issues with diagonals, so you might find yourself using the analog sticks a little bit more. Just keep that in mind. Some quick additional features this device also has is it can also be used as a standard Android tablet for non-gaming applications. So something nice there. If you didn't have a tablet, you can always double back this as a tablet. It also has side loading for other apps and emulators. As I mentioned before, you can go on the Google Play Store and grab things from there. Or for those interested in emulation, you can use it as well for emulation. Now, in terms of connectivity, the G Cloud uses Wi-Fi 5, 802.11 AC support for cloud gaming, and it does have, as mentioned before, 5.1 Bluetooth for connecting your accessories. Now, in terms of cloud gaming support, it is compatible with the major gaming services like Xbox Cloud Gaming, NVIDIA GeForce Now, and Steam Link. Since this is a cloud device, you do get smooth streaming experiences with minimal latency on a stable Wi-Fi connection, which is very important here, right? And that leads me into the next part of this review, which is the input latency. The G Cloud's input delay or latency is a crucial factor in its performance as a cloud gaming device, and here's exactly what you need to know. The device itself has minimal input lag, but the overall latency depends heavily on your internet connection quality, right? So if your Wi-Fi connection isn't very good, it's not going to really be the greatest experience. Not to mention the cloud gaming service that you use also plays a factor in this as well. So now, as of my research for this video, a lot of users have reported that with a nice, stable connection via Wi-Fi, you won't really notice any input latency or input lag as much as opposed to if you have a bad connection. So it's really good to see that from a general user base perspective, a lot of people have reported very positively about the Wi-Fi connections, and I myself can say the exact same. Now, as of this review, I primarily use Steam Link to test this baby out. Now, I chose some games from different genres to kind of fill out the input latency, because I know in some cases some people might be reviewing like, some other games, but In particular, the games that I tested was the most recently released Black Myth Wukong. I also tested out Final Fantasy 16. And for those of you new to my channel, I am primarily a competitive fighting game player, so naturally I wanted to test out Street Fighter 6, which recently had the Marvel vs. Capcom collection. I tried all these games and a few others on the device, and I do have some things to say about that. Now, when playing Wukong, the game looked fantastic. It looked phenomenal. It didn't look any different. Like, there was no drop in quality, which is really nice in that regard. The game is just as colorful on my monitor as it is on the G Cloud, which is great. Now, the input latency was definitely there. It wasn't that bad. However, some of those really tight situations, so in Wukong, you know, there are some perfect dodge situations where you do have to have very timing-oriented combat, which is very important in that game. It did feel a little rough there. I did try the other different performance modes to see if I can get smoother gameplay, and with just a little bit of optimizations, I noticed that there was a lot less input delay. So that's going to be one of the few things I will mention. It is, once again, dependent on your internet connection, and it is very important that you do kind of tweak a lot of the settings to mix and match to work well within your connection's means. Now, when I moved on to Final Fantasy 16, after the optimizations, the game did feel really good to play. Didn't feel any real major issues there. Visuals were really great. Nothing too crazy on that regard. I moved on to some of the other games like Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6, the frame type things were kind of there. I did feel the input latency, but again, not nearly as crazy. Tried the Marvel collection, same thing, not too crazy. Tried a couple other games as well, like Elsie, played phenomenal, no real major issues. While the latency was there, it's still in a very playable state, which I think that's the most important thing I can say here about from a gameplay standpoint is that I can definitely confirm with you guys that the input latency, once again, is there. You can bypass it. Once you tweak the settings enough, you'll be able to play pretty flawlessly. Still will have some delay, but it's really just not that bad. I know I'm kind of going on and on here, but like, I can't stress it enough. Even though there is delay, like, it's still very much so playable. And one thing I can say is that for certain games, I think that are very high frame intensive, it might not be the greatest thing, but it is still playable. So, kind of ranted there, but let me try to find a better way to close this out. While the G Cloud itself is designed to minimize the input delay, the nature of cloud gaming means that some latency is inevitable. However, under optimal conditions, I've found that the input delay can be negligible in most gaming experiences. So now that we covered all of that, I'm gonna give you guys the quick and dirty, the pros and cons, for those who just want to skip to this point in the video. So we're gonna start with the pros. The build quality of the G Cloud is good. It's well constructed with a very durable design, ensuring that it can withstand pretty much regular use. It has a very good comfortable grip. The ergonomic design makes it comfortable to hold for extended gaming sessions. It does also have good emulation and good local game streaming performance. It handles emulation and local gaming pretty well. The high quality display is nice, provides vibrant visuals and great gaming experiences, which is always great to see. As I mentioned before, the extended battery life with well over 12 hours of battery life, so you can game for longer sessions without the need to recharge. Definitely one of the greatest features, as I mentioned before. It also has pretty good connectivity. It supports Wi-Fi and Bluetooth for versatile use. It's also portable and lightweight, perfect for gaming on the go. It's a very nice weight as well. Now let's get into some of the cons. First and foremost, so I gotta be honest, the price point is a little steep for some. You know, the $300 price tag can seem a little high. That might be challenging for some users. The cloud gaming performance can feel a little laggy, especially if the internet connection is unstable or you're not really familiar with how to optimize the device to suit the needs of your current connection. The handheld mode does also have limitations from what I tested. The handheld mode disables gestures needed for most Android emulators, so that is a little bit of a downside from what I've seen so far. It also has an exclusive library, limited to certain games and services, which might not appeal to everyone, to be completely honest. And lastly, and I think this is a very important one, it is completely dependent on a good and stable internet connection. And And cloud gaming performance just heavily relies on stable connections, so that's a really big thing to kind of think about when it comes to cloud gaming. Overall, the G Cloud excels as a dedicated cloud gaming device, offering a good, comfortable, excellent design, good battery life, and a decent range of controls. I think this is pretty much ideal for those that like don't want to sit at their desk space, right? And they kind of want to have the ability to kind of move around at home while still being able to game comfortably. Now, I do know that it might seem a little bit difficult to recommend this over something like the Steam Deck or the Switch. I do feel that since it is able to work with Steam Link and Nvidia and other things like that, Xbox, I do think that those features are nice, and having still the ability to play, you know, the games at high fidelity, even through streaming, is still nice through the cloud service. So, you know, as I mentioned before, just kind of having the ability to kind of move around. You know, you want to go outside on the porch, hang out with your dog, hang out with the kiddos, or whatever the case may be. You know, your desktop can be on, and as long as you have a nice stable connection, you can play, you know, for example, Wukong or whatever it is that you wanted to play outside with the kiddos. So I think it is great for those that want to just have that extra, you know, ability to kind of move around the house with a gaming device that isn't a Steam Deck or a Switch. And is this for you? If you fit within that demographic, by all means. So with that being said, I want to go on ahead and say this is pretty much the end of the review. I want to give a big shout out to Logitech for providing the device here for me to do this review for. So big ups to Logitech for that. I definitely been having a blast. I've been using it for the past 2 weeks, and I think it's a pretty solid device in my personal opinion, but you guys got the specs, you got everything from me, you got the pros and the cons. And with that being said, let me go ahead and get up out of here, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Take care, and peace.